Alright, well 2 days after we built our Kwanzaa, and it's still standing. I was going to sleep out in here last night, but it was nothing but rain yesterday and warm temperatures. Too damp. No matter what you do, you're not going to get the dampness out of that thing if you got nothing for insulation, no hay or no pine boughs. And it was just rainy and lousy, so I said to heck with it. I snowshoed in here today. Didn't walk the trail system. That was a bit of a pain in the ass. Snow's, well, you can see right there, it's over 2 feet. When you walk through it, it's hard walking. Snowshoes made it a heck of a lot easier. Anyways, it survived. The roof, because of the warmer temperatures and we didn't have our proper thickness on the roof bowed a little bit, but still holding. It's solid now. You can get right on top and walk on it. So I'm going to spend the day down here, see if we can get some wildlife. Got the hobo stove going with my tea, and we'll see what else we can find down here. Alright, nice inside. Got the hobo stove going. Warming up my tea. Built myself a little shelf for the camera bag. And I'll snug as a bug in a rug. It's unbelievable how warm these things are inside. The wind's blowing out there. It's colder than hell. And in here it's great. I got the sun coming in, a little bit of sunlight, which is really actually making it warm a little bit. Just amazing. Once you get out of the wind and in here, you can't hear a thing. It's totally soundproof. Excellent way to spend the overnight outside. Okay, let me talk a little bit how we built this thing. You got to find an area where there's a lot of snow. Geographics is important. You don't want you want some place that's kind of sheltered from the wind, from the elements. We're in a little valley here. The downside is where there's a lot of snow here, but it's also a dry creek bed. So certain times of year, if we had a real thin, fast thaw or something, you could be swamped out of here, even though it is wintertime. So basically what you want to do is decide how many people are going to be sleeping in this thing or spending the night in there. And what you want to do is you want to pick an area, you want to clear it out. Wherever you're going to build it, clear all the snow out around, make a nice big circle, the diameter, or twice the diameter, of how big you're going to build your Kwanzaa. What you're doing is you're aerating the snow. You're going to pack down the ground where you're going to start, and then you're going to start feeding the snow back in. All the snow you cleared away, you're going to start putting it back in and then some. Ideally, we built this to sleep full comfortably, so we want it on the outside, we wanted it 3 times the size as you would on the inside. However big you plan on making it on the inside, 3 times the size on the outside. You want to keep the walls about 1 foot thick all the way around. That includes the roof. We didn't do that a little bit. Actually we did, but some kids were up here after we built it and sliding on it and everything else. But the roof with the weather caved a little bit yesterday, but it's still fine. What you want to do is after you finish building it, you want to place sticks. Get sticks about 1 foot in length, as many as you can find, and stick them in all the way around, top, sides, all the way around. And then you got to wait. The longer you wait for this snow to pack and harden, the better. You start piling it and then right away start digging it out, you're going to collapse on you. Or shortly thereafter, you won't last the night. As soon as your body heat gets in here, it's going to start caving, and boom, chances are on the night the thing will fall in on you. It's best to leave this, pile it all up, and leave a minimum of 6 to 8 hours if you can. 3's the minimum time I would absolutely leave it in case I had to for an emergency purpose, but most of the time 6 to 8 hours is good. Then after that, start digging it out. You want to try never to start digging these out alone. You always want to have at least one other person here. One, it makes the job easier. As you're in here pushing out the snow, the other person can shovel out the doorway. But number 2 is safety, just in case it did collapse. You want to have someone here that can dig you out. When you dig these things in, it's not, it's straight in and up. It's not just in then up. You got to kind of bowl it out. The idea on the outside is you get a perfect half circle or a dome, and same with the inside, a perfect half circle of a dome. You can do that, and you can get the walls at least 1 foot thick, and you can let it sit for a few hours before you start digging it, and then a couple hours after you start digging it, especially if it's cold out. This thing will be indestructible. You could have 10, 12 grown-ups on there standing on the roof, jumping up and down, and you will not fall through. These things in the right conditions, with minor maintenance, you can sleep in one of these for a few weeks on end in the right conditions. Just a question is using more snow. They will shrink in the sunlight. Despite the cold weather, you can top snow on top of that for more insulation. You can see through here. We're thin. Well, we're not thin. We're about a foot thick on the back and in behind me and stuff, but you can still see the light coming through. These things in the daytime, they stay lit up pretty good. It's not like dark in here. The light does go through, but the heat stays in and the cold stays out. It's beautiful. What you want to do on the bottom here, of course, you don't want to sleep right on the hard frozen ground. Ideally, if you have lots of hay, you want at least 12 inches of hay insulation on the ground. That's about a foot, and sleep on that. Or if you don't have that, in an emergency situation, you can use pine boughs, spruce boughs. But once again, you want at least 9 to 12 inches on the ground there, and then you're set to go. A good sleeping bag, of course, and a thermal pad never hurts. And if you got a good pair of igloo booties, they're made for inside igloos only. They're great. They're filled with down. They keep your feet nice and toasty. And all you need is a candle. I prefer the ones you can get from Canadian Tire or Bass Pro Shop. They're the ones in a little steel tube with a little window. You stick them right in the roof, and then you hang them, and they hang above where you're sleeping. They keep the heat in all night. And of course, you want to put a little ventilation hole, just a small one up top, in case you are doing some minor cooking in here or anything else. You can get carbon monoxide poison, especially if you're sealing off the front at night. It's not wise to keep it open, because if the wind changed direction, even though we did build a snow wall there, or a wall to keep the wind out, but if something happens, or in this case, keep coyotes out, best thing to do is, especially on your own, make like punji sticks, like little spears, put them out on an angle, put your snowshoes in front. And what I do is get a piece of plastic, fasten it up to the top with snow, let it freeze, and I put like a little drawstring. Once my snowshoes are in, once my punji sticks are in, I pull the little string, the flap goes down, no light comes in, and hopefully keeps the animals out. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed our Kwanzaa making. I'm not going to sleep in this one. I don't think it's going to be here by next weekend coming. I think it'll get destroyed before then. Either the weather or some kids, unfortunately. So hopefully we can do it again this winter, and I can actually get out and sleep in one and film it along the way. So I'm Wild Willy. I hope you enjoyed this little mini edition of Wild Willy's Wild Winter Outdoors. Keep your head up. You'll never know what you're going to see. Alright, just to prove how strong this roof really is, I'm going to get up top and we'll have a little dance. And it can hold 200 and something pounds. Beauty. Not a person out here. Oh, it's quiet in here. Here's where I came in. There's where I'm going out. Looks like we had a bloody Bigfoot through here. That was me, the trail I took in on the snowshoes. I'm not going to follow it out though. I'm going to take another spot. You can see how effective snowshoes are. I sunk down maybe 3/4 of a foot, but considering that's over 2 feet deep there, makes a big difference.